ICSE 2007 Bio. Cytoplasmic organelles that help in the manufacture of starch. Chloroplast. The statistical study of human population demography. Pair of genes responsible for a particular characteristic in an individual. Allele. A solution whose concentration is greater than that of cell sap. Hypertonic. The fluid that provides protection and nourishment to the cells of the brain. Cerebrospinal fluid. Next question. Mortality, whether it's true or false. Mortality is the number of deaths per thousand of the population per decade. False. Mortality is the number of deaths per thousand of the population per year. Next. The symbiotic bacteria that helps in nitrogen fixation is Rhizobium radicola. True. Okay, the symbiotic bacteria that helps in nitrogen fixation is Rhizobium radicola. True. Rods are responsible for vision in the dark. True. The dark reaction of photosynthesis is light and light independent. False. True. The process of fusion of the sperm, the dark reaction of photosynthesis is light independent. True. Process of fusion of the sperm nucleus and the egg nucleus is termed as implantation. False. The process of fusion of the sperm nucleus and the egg nucleus is termed fertilization. Next, basic unit of life cell, beta cells of pancreas, insulin, meiosis, sperm, protective covering of the brain, meninges, constriction of the pupil of the eye, iris. Mane, match the following. Many options were given. These are the correct ones. Basic unit of life cell, beta cells of pancreas, insulin, meiosis, sperm, protective covering of the brain, meninges, constriction of the pupil of the eye, iris. Next question. Given below an apparatus used to study a particular process in plants, study the same and answer the questions that follow. Name the apparatus. Ganong's spotometer. Mention one limitation of this apparatus. Any change in the outside air temperature may affect the position of the air bubble in the capillary tube. Any change in the outside air temperature may affect the position of the air bubble in the capillary tube. Next, which phenomena is studied with the help of this apparatus? Transpiration. Next, what is the function of the part marked reservoir? Reservoir helps in bringing back the bubble to its original position. This can be done by releasing some water into the capillary tube by opening the stopcock. Next, what is the role of the air bubble in the experiment? The rate of water uptake can be calculated by timing the movement of air bubble over a fixed distance on the scale. The rate of water uptake can be calculated by timing the movement of air bubble over a fixed distance on the scale. Next, in the box given below, a list of biological terms are there. Use those terms in the sentences. The type of lens used to correct myopia is concave. The basic unit of human brain is neuron. A non-degradable pollutant is animal waste. The non-degradable pollutant is animal waste. The period of complete development of fetus till birth is termed as germination. Next, given below are the functions of certain organs or structures found in organism. What produces testosterone? Interstitial interstitial cells of testes. Interstitial interstitial cells of testes. Next, is responsible for producing the eye from sweat. Eyebrows. Transmits characteristics from parent to offspring. Genes. Transports water from soil to other parts of the plant. Xylem. Initiates cell division. Centrosome. Next question. Explain the following terms. Tropic hormone. It refers to that hormones which stimulate other endocrine glands to produce their specific hormones. Guttation, the process by which intact plant loses water in the form of droplets through pores is called guttation. The process by which intact plant loses water in the form of droplets through pores মানে হাইদা ঠোঁটস is called guttation. Next, osmosis is the diffusion of water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane from a dilute to concentrated solution. Osmosis is the diffusion of water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane from a dilute to concentrated solution. Next question. Stereoscopic vision. Stereoscopic vision, when both the eyes are focused on the same object but from different angles, it is called binocular or stereoscopic vision. All the monkeys, apes, and particularly man have binocular vision. Next, mutation, sudden changes in one or more genes or in the number and structure of chromosomes in the progeny, which normally may not have existed in the parents, grandparents, or even great grandparents. Example, albinism. Sudden changes in one or more genes or in the number and structure of chromosomes in the progeny, which normally may not have existed in the parents, grandparents, or even great grandparents. Example, albinism. Next, given below is a set of terms arranged in logical sequence representing a process or a function. One term is incorrect. Identify the incorrect term and replace it with correct term. For example, pollen grain, exine, staminal tube, male gametes, micropyle. Incorrect term is staminal tube. Correct term is pollen tube. Pollen grain, exine, pollen tube, male gametes, micropyle. Next, seminiferous tubules, sperm, sperm duct, accessory glands, semen, ureter. Incorrect term is ureter. Correct term is penis. So seminiferous tubules, sperm, sperm duct, accessory glands, Siemens penis. Next, soil water, root hair, cells of cortex, epidermis, xylem. Incorrect term is epidermis. Soil water, root hair, cell of cortex, correct term is endodermis. So, soil water, root hair, cell of cortex, endodermis, xylem. Next, oxygen, stomata, respiratory cavity, mesophyll cells, oxidation of glucose to ATP. Incorrect term is number 3 is not there. Probably, oh, this is not in the syllabus. This question is of respiratory system, which is not there in the syllabus. Next, pupil, eyelids, vitreous humor, fovea, auditory nerve. Incorrect term is auditory nerve. Correct one is optic nerve. So, pupil, eyelids, vitreous humor, fovea, optic nerve. Next, sensory nerve, dorsal root ganglion, sensory neuron, motor neuron, receptor. Which one is incorrect? Receptor. Correct is effector. So sensory nerve, dorsal root ganglion, sensory neuron, motor neuron effectors. Next, differentiate between the following on the basis of what is given in the brackets. Biofertilizer and chemical fertilizer. An example of each. Biofertilizer, rhizobium. Chemical fertilizer, ammonium sulfate. Karyokinesis, the division of nucleus is called karyokinesis. Cytokinesis, the division of cytoplasm is called cytokinesis. Who Red Cross is not there in the syllabus. Mitosis, meiosis. In mitosis, two daughter cells are formed. Meiosis and meiosis, four daughter cells are formed. Pure strain and hybrid strain. Pure strains are made up of same type of alleles. Hybrid strains are made up of different types of alleles. Next question. Given below is the diagram of human ear. Study the same and answer the questions that follow. Part A is called as ear ossicles. It is made up of three bones, malleus, incus, stapes. These ear ossicles transmit the sound waves from external to internal ear. Part labeled B is called as eustachian tube. It acts as ventilator to equalize pressure of air on both the sides of tympanic membrane that forms the outer boundary of middle ear. Part C is auditory nerve. Nerve means vestibular and cochlear nerve, which carries hearing impulses to the brain. Next, give the function of earwax. Earwax lubricates the tympanum for proper functioning. Why carbon dioxide is considered as an air pollutant? Carbon dioxide is considered as an air pollutant because it mixes with oxygen present in air and forms carbon monoxide, which is harmful to man, vegetation, animals, or even buildings. BCG vaccine is given against tuberculosis. DPT vaccine is given against the diseases diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. Next, mention two reasons for high birth rate in India: illiteracy and desire for a male child. Next, given below is an experimental setup. In acha, draw the neat labeled diagram of a chloroplast. A chloroplast's diagram has been drawn and the parts labeled are granum, thylakoid, stroma, granum in longitudinal section, and matrix. Next, list the events taking place in photochemical phase of photosynthesis. Following events take place in photochemical phase of photosynthesis: activation of chlorophyll, splitting of water, phytolysis. H2O gives H plus OH minus, which gives 2H plus O plus 2E minus. Next, the hydrogen ions are picked up by a compound NADP to form NADPH. NADP plus E minus plus H plus gives NADPH. This is a very important question. This question I haven't come across before. A very difficult question. Of photosynthesis is a list the events taking place in photochemical phase of photosynthesis. Activation of chlorophyll, you need to check whether this is there in the syllabus or not. Activation of chlorophyll phase stage 1. Number 2, splitting of water mane photolysis. Number 3, the hydrogen ions are picked up by a compound NADP to form NADPH. Number 4, the oxygen component is given out as molecular oxygen. Number 5, the electrons are used in converting ADP into energy rich compound ATP by adding one phosphate group P2. ADP plus phosphate gives ATP. Next, if you are planning an experiment to show the effect of light on photosynthesis, will you select white light or green light? Justify your answer. Why would you select a destarched plant? We will select white light because it will absorb green light and reflect other colors. We will select a destarched plant because এই যে পরের question, what would you select? Why would you select a destarched plant? We will select a destarched plant because destarching ensures that any starch present after the experiment has been performed under experimental conditions. Next question. Explain the term reflex action. Reflex action is an automatic, quick, and involuntary action in the body brought about by a stimulus. Reflexes are of two types: simple reflex and conditioned reflex. Next, uh, DNA full form deoxyribonucleic acid. AIDS full formed acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. State whether the following actions are voluntary action: simple reflex and conditioned reflex. Blinking, simple reflex. Cleaning of table, voluntary action. Playing on keyboard, conditioned reflex. Salivation when food is put on, conditioned reflex. Banking, simple reflex. Cleaning of table, voluntary action. Playing on keyboard, conditioned reflex. Salivation when food is put on, conditioned reflex. Next, given below is a diagrammatic representation of a defect of human eye. Identify the defect. Hypermetropia, because the image is formed behind the retina. Two reasons: shortening of eyeball from front to back, and the lens is too flat. Mention two reasons for the above defect. is shortening of eyeball from front to back and the lens is too flat. Next, how the defect can be rectified. The defect can be rectified by the use of convex or converging lens. Next, question number 5. Name the part of the eye responsible for maintaining the shape of eyeball. Ciliary muscles control or maintain the shape of the eyeball. Next, name the hormones which lead to the following conditions: diabetes mellitus, insulin; growth of beard in women, sex corticoids; myxedema, thyroxine; gigantism, somatotropin; exophthalmic goiter, thyroxine. Next, study the diagram given below and answer the questions that follow. Name the parts label 1 or 2, state the function of each part. Part label 1 is placenta. It helps in the nutrition, excretion, and respiration of the embryo. Part 2 labeled is chorion. It forms the placenta. Next, state any one function of the amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid acts as a cushion for the embryo and protects it from jerks or mechanical shocks. Next, what is the role of umbilical cord in the development of the uterus? Umbilical cord contains blood vessels and connects the placenta with the fetus. It means it helps in providing nutrition to the embryo and oxygen to fetus and removes carbon dioxide and excretory wastes from fetus blood to maternal blood. Next, name the part in the diagram which is endocrine in nature. Endocrine part of this diagram is placenta. State Mendel's law of independent assortment. Mendel's law of independent assortment: when there are two pairs of contrasting characters, the distribution of the members of one pair into the gametes is independent of the distribution of the other pair. Next, Mendel's law of independent assortment. Mendel's law of independent assortment: when there are two pairs of contrasting characters, the distribution of the members of one pair to the gametes is independent of the distribution of the other pair. Next, a homozygous tall plant মানে capital T bearing red colored capital R flowers is crossed with homozygous dwarf plant small t bearing white flowers small r. Um, Genotypic ratio of give the genotypic and phenotypic ratio of F1 generation. Genotypic ratio of F1 generation is capital T, small t, capital R, small r. Genotype of F1 generation tall plant and red flower. Possible combination of the gametes from F1 hybrid. Capital T, capital R, capital T, small t, capital R, small t, small r. Next, dihybrid ratio and phenotype of the F2 generation tall and red 9, tall and white 3, dwarf and red 3, dwarf and white 1, 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Next, the diagram given below represents a stage during mitotic cell division in an animal cell. Identify the stage, give reason to support your answer. This diagram represents anaphase of mitosis division in the centromere. In this centromere is divided, splitting sister chromatids of each chromosome. They are now drawn apart towards opposite poles. Part labeled 1 is aster rays, part labeled 2 is spindle fibers, part labeled 3 is chromatids. Next, what is the chromosome number of the cell? 4 chromosomes, just double of the parent cell. Draw a neat level diagram of the cell as it would appear in the next stage. Name the stage. The stage will be telophase, and next stage would be telophase. Next question. Give reasons for the following. Plants begin to die when excess of soluble fertilizers are added to the soil because of plasmolysis of plant cell due to hypertonic solutions of fertilizers. Next, injury to the medulla oblongata results in death because due to injury in medulla oblongata the protecting process of the axis vertebra in the neck pierces it. As a result, the involuntary actions such as breathing and heartbeat are stopped. Next, gametes have a haploid number of chromosomes because gametes undergo meiosis, means cell division, in which the number of chromosomes becomes half. Next, draw a neat lyso green leaves are thin and broad. Green leaves are thin and broad because so that more surface area is exposed to sunlight for photosynthesis. ICSE Biopaper 2006, one combined vaccine the given to babies which helps build immunity against three common diseases. DTP vaccine, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. Next question. Um, this is not there in the syllabus. The hormone that releases glucose into the blood, this is there in the syllabus. Glucagon, the hormone which that releases glucose into the blood, glucagon. The eye defect caused due to the shortening of the eyeball from front to back is hypermetropia. The chemical, sorry, no, this is also not there. Now, if true or false, respiration question is not there. Oxygen is the energy currency of a living cell. False. ATP is the energy currency of a living cell. Next, iron is the chemical element responsible for the clotting of blood. False. Calcium is the mineral element responsible for the clotting of blood. Next, cones are photoreceptor cells that are sensitive to dim light. False. Rod cells are photoreceptor cells that are sensitive to dim light. Next question. Testosterone is an androgen. True. Given below are six sets. Acha. Set. Goiter, dwarfism, acromegaly, cataract. Odd one is cataract. Category hormonal diseases. Next, sneezing, coughing, typing, blinking. Odd one is typing. Category simple reflex. ADH, TSH, NADP, ACTH. Odd one is NADP. Category is hormones. Next, given below in the box are set of 12 biological terms. Of the six pairs, one has been done for you. Nephron, kidney. Thyroid, thyroxine. Adrenal medulla, adrenaline. Chlorophyll, thylakoids. Garden pea, rhizobium. So nephron, kidney, thyroid, thyroxine, adrenal medulla, adrenaline, chlorophyll, thylakoids, garden pea, rhizobium. Next, state the exact location of and function of each of the following. Stoma, location epidermis of the leaf, function transpiration. Seminiferous tubules, location testes, function produce sperms. Pinna, location external ear, function collect sound waves. Next, given below are five groups of terms. Mm, uh, correct, rearrange them in correct order as logical sequence. One is done for you: penis, testis, sperm duct, sperm, semen. Testis, sperm, sperm duct, semen, penis. Next question. Ear ossicles, oval window, tympanum, auditory canal, cochlea. Logical sequence: auditory canal, tympanum, ear ossicles, oval window, cochlea. Next, tissue fluid, oxygen, alveolus, blood, tissues. Logical sequence: alveolus, oxygen, blood, tissue fluid, tissue. Next, implantation, fertilization, ovulation, gestation. Ovulation, fertilization, implantation, gestation. Next, aorta, hepatic vein, hepatic portal vein, stomach, liver. Stomach, hepatic portal vein, liver, hepatic vein. Next, uh, endodermis, root hair, xylem, soil water, cell of cortex. Soil water, root hair, cell of cortex, endodermis, xylem. Next, following terms: population density. Population density is the sum total of individuals in a given geographic region at a specified period is known as population density. It is the number of individuals in as in a per unit area, such as per square kilometer. Population density is the number of individuals. This definition is not wrong. I think number of individuals per unit area in per square kilometer. I think so. This one is right. Next question: bleeding. The rapid flow of blood due to cut or injury is called bleeding. Pulse rate: it is the alternate expansion and elastic recoil of the water of the artery during ventricular systole. Photolysis: photolysis is the light reaction of photosynthesis. In this process, the energy present in sunlight is absorbed by the chlorophyll and is used to split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Birth rate: number of children born per thousand living person per year. Birth rate equals to number of live birth in a year by population in the middle of the year into 1000. Next, given below is the systematic representation of the circulatory system in man. Study the same and answer the questions that follow. Label the parts 1 to 4. Right auricle, left ventricle, aorta, body organ. Next question. Give one difference between the parts 1 and 2. Um, Part 1 মানে right auricle আর part 2 left ventricle. Difference right auricle and right ventricle. uh, right auricle thinner walls, left ventricle thick muscular walls. Right auricle deoxygenated blood, nature of blood flowing through them, deoxygenated blood. Left ventricle, nature of blood flowing through them, oxygenated blood. Next, what is the specific name of the type of blood circulation that takes place between heart and lungs? The specific name is double circulation. Name the valve found at the beginning of part level 3. Aortic semilunar valve. Difference between choroid and sclerotic layers of eye. Choroid layer. Through its blood supply, it nourishes retina. Sclerotic layer gives shape to the eyeball. Choroid layer is through its blood supply, it nourishes retina. Sclerotic layer gives shape to the eyeball. Difference between lymphocytes and neutrophils. Lymphocytes single large nucleus, neutrophils nucleus with 3 to 4 lobes. Lymphocytes single large nucleus, neutrophils nucleus with 3 to 4 lobes. Difference between dynamic balance and static balance. Dynamic balance and static balance. Dynamic balance, the balance which is achieved by the stimulation of endolymph present in the semicircular canals is called dynamic balance. Static balance, the balance which is achieved through the gravity receptors located in the utriculus and sacculus is called static balance. Dynamic balance, the balance which is achieved by the stimulus of endolymph present in the semicircular canals is called dynamic balance. Static balance, the balance which is achieved through the gravity receptors located in the utriculus and sacculus is called static balance. Difference between ventricular systole and ventricular diastole. Ventricular systole, heart sound produced is lab. Ventricular diastole, heart sound produced is dap. A difference between plasma and serum. Plasma is the blood excluding blood corpuscles and platelets. Serum, it is the blood plasma excluding fibrin. Again, I am repeating plasma and serum difference. Plasma is the blood excluding blood corpuscles and platelets. Serum, it is the blood plasma excluding fibrin. Next question. Given below is an experimental setup. This is also not there in the syllabus, I think. Name the process being. Acha, this is not there in the syllabus. Next question. Define the following terms. Hypotonic solution. It is a solution in which outside cell has lower concentration and lower osmotic pressure than the cell sap. Non-biodegradable. The waste which cannot be brought into reuse by the process of recycling is called non-biodegradable. The waste which cannot be brought into reuse by the process of recycling is called non-biodegradable. Antitoxin, these are the antibodies which are capable of interacting with corresponding toxins and neutralizing them. Antitoxin, these are the antibodies which are capable of interacting with corresponding toxins and neutralizing them. Next, diapetes is the process in which leukocytes or white blood cells squeeze out through the walls of blood capillaries of the site of injury to fight against pathogens. Next, the diagram given below is the internal structure of lamina. This is also not there in the syllabus. Immunity, it is the ability of a person to resist the danger from a particular disease causing microbes in the body. Acid rain is the result of variety of process which together lead to acidic gases being deposited from the atmosphere. The gases involved are sulfur dioxide and various oxides of N2. Next, antibiotic. Antibiotics are used to fight against diseases and are used in the prevention and treatment of diseases. Example, penicillin, streptomycin. Next, the diagram given alongside the external view of human brain. Study the same and answer the questions that follow. Name the parts labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three. One is cerebrum, associated with memory, intelligence, and sensation. Cerebellum, associated with voluntary muscular movements and maintenance of equilibrium. In cerebrum, the brain cells are densely packed in the outer region. Question ki, how are the brain cells arranged in part 1? In cerebrum, brain cells are densely packed in the outer region. Next, what is the structure and function and unit of nervous system? Neuron. Name the fluid that surrounds the brain. State its function. Cerebrospinal spinal fluid. It protects CNS, central nervous system, against mechanical shock and injury. It maintains a constant pressure inside the cranium. Next, write the appropriate terms for the following. The arrangement of xylem tissue in a vascular bundle such that the protoxylem is at the center and metaxylem is towards the periphery. Um, Towards the periphery. The arrangement of xylem tissue in a vascular bundle such that the protoxylem is at the center and the metaxylem is towards the periphery. In Dutch. Next, the region of distinct vision in the eye, yellow spot. The surgical method of sterilization in human female tubectomy. The process by which cells engulf pathogens, phagocytosis. Next, given alongside is the diagram of a part of the nephron of kidney. Study the same and answer the questions that follow. Name the parts labeled 1, 2, 3. Afferent arteriole, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule. What is the collective term used for 2 and 3? Collective term used for 2 and 3 is Malpighian capsule. Next, what is the right kidney at a slightly lower level than left? Right kidney is at slightly lower level than left because liver pushes it down. Homeostasis, the method of keeping the composition of the body fluids is the same, is called homeostasis. The method of keeping the composition of body fluids the same is called homeostasis. The kidney, by the process of osmoregulation, maintains the osmotic concentration of the body and removal of extra water or salts. কি বলছে? Name the parts labeled 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Afferent arterial, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule. Collective term used for glomerulus and Bowman's capsule is Malpighian capsule. Why is the right kidney at a slightly lower level than the left? Right kidney is at slightly lower level than the left because liver pushes it down. Next question, explain the term homeostasis. What is the role of the kidney in this? Homeostasis, the method of keeping the composition of the body fluid the same, is called homeostasis. The kidney, by the process of osmoregulation, maintains the structural and the osmotic concentration of the body and removal of extra water or salts. Next, lung, respiration, kidney, excretion, uterus, implantation, fallopian tube, fertilization, eye, optic nerve, ear, auditory nerve. RNA, ribosome, cristae, mitochondria, ureter, canning urine, carrying urine, eustachian tube, ureter carrying urine. Actually, spelling টা wrong আছে. Our eustachian tube equalizes air pressure. Draw the microscopic view of an onion peel and label the three basic parts of the cell in it. Cell wall, nucleus, chloroplast, onion peel. Next, how is the above mentioned cell structurally different from the chick cell? In chick cells, the intercellular spaces is not present, but in onion peel, intercellular spaces are present. Why is iodine used when preparing an onion slide? Iodine is used for staining. Next, explain briefly. On entering a poorly lit room, one feels blinded for a short while. এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা 5000 বার পেয়েছি। In bright light, cones functions. In a properly lit room, the rods function by secretion of rhodopsin. It takes some time to secrete rhodopsin. Next, mm, এই তো in bright light cones functions. In a poorly lit room, the rod functions by the secretion of rhodopsin. It takes some time to secrete rhodopsin. আফটার মানে প্রথমে ব্রাইটলি লিট রুমে কোনস ফাংশন করে, তাই এই হ্যাঁ দিয়ে পুরলি লিট রুমে এলে রোডাপসিন সিক্রেশন অফ রোডাপসিন একটু টাইম লাগে, সেই জন্য মানে কোন মানে লাইট কোনস আর ডার্ক রডস, এই হলো ব্যাপার, ডার্কনেস রডস। নেক্সট, glucose is normally not found in urine because the two big molecules of glucose usually gets reabsorbed into the bloodstream and turned into glycogen by insulin. Next, xerophytes have their leaves modified to spines or reduced in size. Xerophytes are growing in scarcity of water. In order to decrease the rate of transpiration, their leaves are modified into spines or reduced in size.